Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am Drawing Chaos, here with another, well, more along the lines of part 2 to our beautiful fuel power plant tutorial guide. Yes, we are taking 600 crude oil. This is all built in vanilla. We are making 1600 cubic meters of fuel, and you can make this in update 6 or update 5. And it only uses 132 fuel generators and makes almost 20,000 megawatts of power. So if you like what you see, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can see me build other things. Maybe I'll even do a nuclear power plant. With your support, I shall do it. But there's one thing before we begin I do want to add is, unfortunately, I made a mistake in the last video, which will be linked in the description if you have not seen it, because you're going to need to build that part before you start to build this part. But the mistake that I made, it was 400 polymer resin and not 800. So you can put that into one line and not need to worry about it. But with that being said, why don't we get on with the video, because there is a lot to go over today. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the first thing I recommend is that you hook up the crude oil as well as power into the system. This lets everything start to build up, and as we build out everything that we need, we will start having this part of the section already built up and ready to go. It'll make it really good when we put the fuel into the system. As for the build, I have built it out real quick, but I can show you how I did this part right here. I started off with this inner quarter pipe going over there, and then I started building quarter pipes going all the way down. As you can see, this goes 21 foundations all the way to the edge, and it comes straight down, giving us a nice water channel in the center. Then I put a corner quarter pipe, which is really fun to say. Then I went 5 foundation over of your foundation of choice. I recommend the nice coated one, gives it a good shine. And then the grip metal 2 rows at the end over here. And as you can see, I kept the coated right on the edge because we need 1 foundation edge wide on the edges. Then as you can see, I put in some more quarter pipes. I have some metal pillars on the side. And then I decided to do this nice half circle right over here. Easiest way to do that is to have a foundation exactly in the center, but because it's an even one, you're going to have to do this a bit differently. What you want to do is you just want to put a foundation over here, and then you're going to grab your catwalk crossing, and this will allow you to put one in the exact middle, and then you can put one down at the bottom as well. Then once you delete all this stuff that's on top, you'll have one that's under the water, and you hold the control and use the mouse wheel to rotate it, and you can basically rotate it and go 1 tick all the way across, giving you the half circle all the way around. Now as you can see on every other one, I put in 2 foundations, and then I put in a quarter pipe in the center, giving me a nice rounded edge. And so far that is just the bottom section over here. Looks really good, and once we put in all the other stuff, it'll really come together. But onto these little sections right over here. I decided to build over here to show you exactly how I did it. Right over here we put in a 4-meter foundation and then switched to a 2-meter foundation. Now, once I grab another 2-meter foundation of the type of material that I want, which I'm using grip metal for this one, I can go over all the way down. But I'm just going to build this 3 over just so you get the general idea. Then I'm going to build another row with 1 meter going across. And this will give us a general look of what we want. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to grab the catwalk crossing, because we need to put these glass floors into it. So if you put the catwalk crossing right here at the edge, you're going to go in and you're going to grab a foundation, glass frame foundation, and you're going to put that going across in the middle so it's halfway sticking out. But you see this line? Make sure that the line is the same line going all the way down like I have it on mine. This will give you a nice looking one right there. And then you can build the same thing that you did on the bottom right here for the next floor. And you're going to grab your grip metal, but unfortunately, if you look over here, I have to offset it because it is just not the right spacing. So see how it's only over like about maybe like a meter? Well, that's what we're going to need over here. Easiest way to do that is you're going to grab a foundation and put that on top. And then you want to grab your catwalk crossing and you want to put that over there. Then you can get rid of those foundations, grab another one, and you can aim it perfectly over in the exact spot that you want it. And this will be able to go over 3 as well, so that we can actually have this exactly like the bottom one. So we'll grab that, bring that over 2 more, and then grab the 1 meter one and bring that over. Then, just like the one on the bottom, you're going to want to build yourself a glass frame foundation right here at the edge, making sure that the line is right in the middle and it is going over. Now, as for the top one's going to be easier than the others. So you can delete all your little stuff right here because you can just build it across. But with this one, we're going to put it at the same height as our building before. So you just put the glass in the center, you put the 1 meter one, and then you put the 2 meter foundation. So everything looks perfectly just like this. We just need an inverted 1 meter ramp in all the little spacings that we made from the 1 meter to the 2 meter. And this will give us a good look when we're down there actually in the building, that we get to check everything out. So make sure you build it on every single thing that you have going on. And then we're just going to extend this all the way down the same length as the grip metal ones on the bottom. Now, once you have everything built out, painted with the design of your choice, we're going to grab our nice coated foundation, and we were going to go right here on the edge, and we're going to go all the way down, from the top all the way to the bottom. This will be a different offset than what it normally is, so make sure that you're building this correctly. As well as putting an inverted ramp down here at the bottom will give us a general cool look from underneath. Now we can build 2 more foundations over from the same height as the middle one. And then we're going to do 2 foundations over going all the way down in a nice zigzag pattern. So we're going to do this on both sides, but I'll show you on this side real quick just how easy it is. Then I want to grab a inverted ramp, and we're going to connect the inverted ramp, zooping it all the way down. So 3 of the inverted ramp going all the way down. This will fix everything over here, making it all tied in together. And we'll use the regular ramp on the top, going 4 down, and make sure you have it the same material as everything else. So we have that going down, and then we just want to put a regular foundation right here at the edge so it sticks out but it doesn't go all the way to the bottom one. Right like so. Once you have all 4 corners done exactly like so, you're going to want to go into your thing and you're going to want to pull out pillars. Now we're going to need the small metal pillar, and we're going to put it on the edge and zoop it all the way across. We're going to do this for every single one of these floors that we have going on. Now the one that's going to be a little bit pain in the butt is going to be this top floor right here. As everything matches up perfectly, we just want to build a temporary foundation, build the pillar across, and then we will delete the temporary foundation. Now you want to do this on both sides and go all the way to the very end. Now with that part being done, you want to grab yourself a 4 meter foundation, and we were going to go up vertically 7 foundations high, and we're going to do this for every single floor. Now the reason we got to do this for every single floor is because some of these floors are offset either by the side or certain heights. So the easiest way to do this is just to go 7 foundations high on every single one of them. Even the spacing from one to the other might be a little bit off. Once you're done with that, you just want to grab your 2 meter foundation, the grip metal one, and we're going to put one on each and every single one of these foundations we just did. Now with this one in the center, I did zoop it across, but you know, we're going to have to switch up the way that is real quick afterwards. But as you can see, you just want to put the foundations on there. Then we can put in the 1 meter foundation so it can go all the way down. And when we do the middle part, we can actually delete what we just put in there and put in the 1 meter foundation going across it. So as you can see, I deleted this. I grabbed my 1 meter, put the 1 meter there, and I put the glass foundation in the center. Then once I had all that done, I can delete all these temporary foundations that I had over here. And once they're all gone, then you can extend all these foundations that we built up here of grip metal all the way over. We can paint them and put whatever design or pattern we want on there going across. But just to show you why we went this high, let me grab a fuel generator and put it down here. This is the exact pattern that the fuel generators are going to be on. As you can see right here, it perfectly gives us enough space to do whatever we want under here. And if I put in a foundation, yes, this 2 meter foundation will cut it off even if we go just a little bit down. So this will be the perfect height for everything we need. Now, once you have the top built, exactly like you did with the bottom, even with the glass foundations and the metal pillars, we have to make one change underneath. What we need to do is we need to take the material and we want to put the coated foundation underneath for the inverted ramp. Then we're going to take the inverted ramp and we're going to add an extra inverted ramp, but this one's going to be 2 meters instead of the 1 meter, and we're going to zoop that all the way down. We're going to do this on every single one underneath, so it gives us an interesting reflection from underneath once all the fuel generators have been built. Next up is we're going to work on the support that holds up the top layer. So what you want to do is you want to grab your foundations and you want to go up 7 foundations tall, just like the spacing that we put in everything else. And we're going to put a 2 meter foundation. We are going to zoop that across going all the way over. And you're going to do the same thing on this side as you're going to do on the other side. Now we need this to come down, so the best way to do that is if we grab a 4 meter ramp, we can actually zoop this 6 across and it'll give us the perfect slope that we need. Now I want to put in some pillar supports, so we're going to flatten that right there and vertically go down a couple. Now what you need to do next is you need to grab your pillars and you want to grab a nice pillar support, put that up on the bottom, and then whatever pillar you want to use, I'm using metal on this one, we're going to go up 3. Now I miscalculated how much it was, but fixed it in the end as I put another pillar support and I put a 2 meter foundation going across there. Then you grab a inverted ramp and we're going to do a 4 meter inverted ramp, and then we're going to do 2 meter inverted ramps. Then what we do is we take the foundation and we're going to have the foundation zooped across, and this allows us to put another pillar support in the center. Now this one is only 2 pillars tall with the pillar support on the bottom and the top, so it's 4 foundations total. And the last thing that we need to do now is we need to fill up this whole entire section with foundations. I am using the coated foundations because the glare from this looks really good, but as you can see right here, the 4 meter foundations don't work very well, so you're going to have to fill in the extra gaps with some 2 meter foundations. But once it's done, it looks really good overall. Now that we're done building the foundation platform for all these things to sit on, we might as well go into our power section, grab our fuel generators, and start building these. As you can see from the white outline all the way over there, I go to the very corner of the grip metal and then I go 1 back, and that is why we needed those pillars to be sitting on there, so we just have enough spacing that we can fit this in perfectly. The first ones get a little bit annoying trying to get them in the right spot, but once you get them all in the proper spot, they fit in perfectly. And as you can see right here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can see exactly where they cut off into the building, which looks pretty good. Now the reason we sit these over is so we can have some room in between them, and we make sure that they're done on both sides. We're also going to make sure that we do the exact same thing underneath on the bottom. So everything we did on the top, we're going to do the exact same on the bottom. And once that is done, we have all the fuel generators built. It'll be 16 per row. Then we just build that all the way across in this whole section. And as you can see right here, we have a ton of fuel generators ready to go. We still need a couple more, but this will give us the bulk of what we need. Now, if you go into your organization, you can get a fluid buffer. This is going to be put in between the top and middle part of all the fuel generators. Then what we're going to do is we're going to put a pipeline junction in between each one of these fuel generators going all the way across. And like I said, this is going to be done on the very top and the very middle. Then you're going to hook up all your pipelines from the top and the middle together. So what this will do is this will hook up all 4 rows that are exactly in the middle all together going all the way across with fluid buffers in between each one of them. Then you can take the very topmost fuel pipeline that you have and connect it to the top. This will connect everything all the way around. But it will not turn on any one of these fuel generators, because to turn them on you're going to actually have to hook up the power line to them. So without a power line they won't turn on. But this will be good because once all this fuel comes in here, it'll start to fill up all these fuel buffers. And with those being filled up before the actual thing is turned on, we'll have excess fuel ready in the system for when we need it. Now all we need to do is take a pipeline junction and start putting the pipeline junctions in each section that we're going to need them for all the fuel generators over here. As you can see, I go right all the way up to the edge and have that going all the way down, and then I will take a Mark II pipe and hook all the pipes together just like I did on the very top. And I will do the same thing on the bottom layer as well. So as you can see right here, once I get to the bottom layer, all the pipes are hooked up all the way across, and the same thing is for when it's up top as well. So I have all these pipes hooked up going all the way over. Then I'm going to take a painted beam and I'm going to start putting painted beams across the glass foundation all the way across. And this will give you a good colored trim as you go across there, and it'll look really good towards the end. And you can do this on the top as well as the bottom. I do this just for a simple design aspect, but it is also up to you on whether or not you want to use this. But it does look really cool. Now, as for the ones on the bottom, you can see with the section, it actually sticks out just a bit. So you do want to go around the edge just a little bit so you have it connected so it doesn't look kind of weird over on the edge. Then once you keep placing them as you go across, you'll notice that there is going to be a little bit of a gap in between beam to beam. Best way to hide this is use a beam connector going across as well as for the corners. And you do this on the top and the bottom and everything will look really good. Now, before we start going crazy with all these beautiful pipes and everything, hooking them up on the top and the bottom, what I want to do is I want to go into the organization and get a industrial fluid buffer for here on the bottom. This will take up a bunch of space as well as give us some extra fuel down here on the bottom. So if this thing starts filling up, it's got plenty of space to go to. So if we have to turn it off and turn it back on, at least there'll be plenty of fuel that we can use in the system for whenever it's ready to go. And as you can see right here, just match up the placement I have on it and just do one on either side going all the way down. Now what we want to do is we want to start hooking up the top layer to the bottom layer for pipes so that all the fuel that is going down can be connected from one side to the other. Now this is going to be a little bit trickier than the center one, unfortunately, but there is a real nice way of doing it. So if you take a wall, we're going to put a couple walls over here. Now these are only temporary for the moment, but they are very useful. Then we go into our logistics and we are going to grab a pipeline wall hole. If you don't have this, it is unlocked in the Awesome Shop and is really useful. So what you want to do is you want to be able to grab the pipes and have them going into the wall and across to where they need to go to. So once you have that in the center, grab another wall and you're going to put it right here at the edge of each and every single level. Now this is going to be the same in the top as well as it's going to be on the bottom. So you're going to put them over here, and these are just temporary, and then you're going to grab yourself a pipeline wall hole again and you're going to line this stuff up perfectly. So with all the wonderful junctions that you put in, you're going to have one where it's going to go straight into the wall. This will be nice because it hides some spaghetti and stuff like that, but also looks really cool, as if everything was planned perfectly. Then all we got to do is we grab a pipe, and we're going to go from here to the wall, and then this, we're just going to temporarily put it over there just so you can see what it's like. Actually, you know what? Let's put the junction in here real quick. Might as well. Don't waste any time. I just put a foundation going across, put in my pipeline junction cross. It lines it up with the perfect height. Then I can connect this one over here as well as the one on the other side. Then I can connect inside the wall once the other sides have been hooked up. This will be really useful going across. Then you can delete all the temporary stuff and it looks like it goes in the wall perfectly. And once we have everything done, we can actually go down 2 more floors, get rid of these temporary foundations, put the pipeline junction cross here, delete another foundation, put the 3rd one down, and delete that final foundation. Then we can have all these connected going across. And you're going to do the same thing you did on one side for the other. So everything that we do here to get them connected to the wall, oh, I just realized my OCD does not allow this. Unfortunately, I made a mistake. Let me fix that real quick. And there we go. Now we have everything going across and it looks perfect. It has to be perfect. That's the whole point of this. So whatever we do on one side, we're going to do the exact same on the other. Now, if you have this set to horizontal and vertical, when you connect this stuff over here, it goes perfectly. But you got to be careful on which way you click it. Like if I click from over here and then go towards the middle, it might seem like it went perfectly, like my flying, but unfortunately, something's in the way. So if I go from this side and then go all the way down and going across, it will hide the exact pipe that I have inside the wall. So you won't be able to see it at all, even from the other side, and it works perfectly. Next up, we got to find a proper way to get these pipes hooked up to here. Because you could just hook them up just randomly like so, but unfortunately, if you keep doing stuff like that, with the clipping and everything, it's just going to look wrong. Like here, check this out. So if I hook up all 3 of them like so, they all clip together and it just looks wrong. I did find a unique way to do this though. If you go into the horizontal one, so start from the bottom, going into the bottom one, then go from the middle to the middle one, and then go from this one and then go all the way to the other side, you can have none of them clip and it looks perfectly. The only thing is you have this foundation problem on the top, which you can just replace that with a 1 meter foundation over here if you don't want to see that kind of stuff. I think with the 1 meter foundation it'll work perfectly. Unfortunately, you get this weird like straight line kind of thing. So the easy way to fix that is just put a inverted 1 meter ramp on there, and as long as you don't mind it going over like that, it's pretty good. But it's completely up to you on what you want to do on that top part. Now we have 6 pipes that are going all the way over here and need to be brought all the way down to the bottom. Now don't worry, I got your back on this one. It's actually a lot easier than we think. So if we put a basic wall on each one of these, we can actually get our nice little pipeline wall hole similar to how we did the other side. So go back in your logistics, make sure it's all measured up and lined up perfectly, and then we can have these going into the wall over here. Now, the center one is going to be a lot easier than the side two, but we will start with the center one, just to show you exactly how it's done. So it's going to be connected straight across going here. It's going to go straight down this foundation and basically come here on the bottom. So basically on the bottom, you want to grab a wall and you want to put in the wall holes similar to what we did on top. Nothing too fancy, just going to be the normal stuff. But the nice thing about this center one is once you click on the other side, you can basically go all the way back up to the top part and have it going straight in. Now the only problem is if you didn't connect the one wall, it kind of wants to clip out to the one on the outside, but it isn't impossible to get it connected. So once you get it connected, and you can see we have all the fuel just going all straight in here, goes straight down, and into the bottom section right here. Pretty easy and pretty well hidden. I kind of like it and I want to keep it, but now we got to do it for the other side. Now for the other two, what you want to do is you want to have them going from this foundation to this one. So we're going to use the pipeline floor holes on this one. Because I feel with the pipes going into the foundation from one section to the other, as long as they look like they're deliberate, it's going to look really good to the build. So once you have those two in, find the foundation that's right above it, and you're going to delete that. We're going to need this just so we can have everything hooked up properly. So we're going to click this one, and then as you can see, I did the further one, and then I went all the way over here for this side as well. We're going to do from the bottom to the top. As you can see, it doesn't want to clip in, so you're going to have to do from the top to the bottom, and you will not be able to see any of those pipes. So if I go from the other side, nothing shines through. So this is going to work out really good for hiding the pipes and having them go straight across when they're done. Now this next part might seem tricky, but it's pretty easy, just like the other ones. We're going to connect this one right here all the way over. So what we need is we need a nice wall, a temporary wall on both sides. And then we're going to have to go in and get our pipeline wall hole, put one in the middle, and then aim this one perfectly over here. Then, just like we did before with all the other stuff, we are going to connect all the pipes together. Do this in a specific order, makes it really easy, but you guys get the picture. You pretty much know how it's done. You're going to want to use a noodle one for this one, otherwise it does not connect properly. But with that being said, you can connect it up pretty easily, and it goes all the way across. And then on to the next one that we need, this one over here connected to the bottom. Now the best way to do this is if you actually go horizontal to vertical. Now you could go all the way over here to the line, that's basically 2 over, and you can connect it straight up, but it will clip into the foundation. Now, I don't think this actually looks that good, but I know some people have no problem with this, so it's more of your style. If you like it, you want to keep it, no problem there. But there is another opportunity or another option that you can do. If you want to delete this stuff real quick, what we can do is we can actually go and we can go from the top right here and then aim ourselves into the middle of these two foundations connected, and then we'll just do a diagonal going all the way across. It doesn't give us the 90 degrees, but it still does look good. And when we put the inverted ramp in, it's all well hidden and looks amazing. This next section, you want to grab a wall and you're going to go too high and you're going to zoop this all the way over. This is going to make a nice design for these industrial fluid buffers. So next you want to put a pipeline junction cross right here in the middle, and we're going to connect the top to the middle. Now you're going to want to use horizontal to vertical, and you want to connect the top to the bottom, because if you do the bottom to the top, it gives you a weird looking thing, and I like the 45-degree angle on this one. As for the bottom, it really doesn't matter which one you choose because it kind of looks weird either way you do it. Then you can connect them all together, and this will connect all the fluid buffers from the middle one to the bottom. Now when you do the final one over here, what you want to do is you want to connect this line over here to the fluid buffer. So the best way to do that is we're going to put a wall support over here, and we're going to connect this line to the wall support so it's ready to go. We're going to have a junction basically all in the center for everything to accumulate in. Now we're also going to need this center line to come down here as well, just in case any excess fuel is in there that we're going to need. So just put a pipeline floor hole right there, and we're going to be able to connect all this stuff up. Easiest way to do that is we're going to take a junction cross, line it up with both of these right here. As you can see, we're just going to put one right there and one on this side, and then we're going to put one in the exact center right over here. Then all we got to do is click these and have them all connected up using horizontal to vertical. It'll give us a nice looking thing going right here. And this will make it so that all the fuel is connected everywhere. Then we just have these two getting connected over here. And then the last thing that we're going to need is we're going to need the middle above us to actually connect down here. Now there's a couple ways you can do it, but it all depends on how much clipping you like. Like over here, that looks good, but it's clipping through a nice foundation. We don't want that. If we go from this side, it'll kind of do a weird zigzagging thing, real annoying. So the best way I found is just do the front all the way over and going straight up. Then it doesn't clip anything, and it looks really cool connected all the way down here. That'll get all the fuel into one location, and it'll start filling up these bins, as you can see. And while we keep building up and we have none of the fuel generators running, this will be really good to have all these fluid buffers being filled up. Now we need to start working on this area outside here. We want to get the exact center going across, and we're going to build a foundation, and we're going to zoop it going 2 over. If you can't figure out where the 90 degree is, I can't help you. But as you can see right here, I am just going up just a little bit, but I want to be able to have a nice curve. So if I take my stuff vertically and go up 4, I match the same height as I had the pillar foundations that are over there. Then I just go all the way over, and I'm going to basically, on top of these quarter pipes, I'm going to put 4 foundations high. And as you can see, it connects right here with the middle one as well. And then I just want these to go over 2 in, and this will give me a nice evenly curve going all the way across. So just keep on building that, and once you're done with it, you're going to start deleting all the excess stuff, or you'll at least see me delete all the excess stuff, so you get a general idea of how it's going to look out when you're done. So we'll just delete all this excess right here, going across. And then we will delete this going on here on the bottom as well. And then of course we can do the same thing on the other side, and it'll give us a nice cool curve going on the edge all the way over. Don't forget to put your foundations, if you accidentally deleted them, going all the way over here. Okay, next up, you're going to put some foundations right here in the middle between these two, breaking up this and making something similar to what you did in the middle over here. Basically, just figure out where exactly you'd like it, right in the middle, count yourself out. If you can't figure it out, I can't help you. But just look at the video and you can see. And then I just added one more foundation right here on the edge on the spot that was just sticking out going forward. Then you'll have everything going good all the way across. You can grab your ramp and you can zoop that down 3 going across on here. And then you're going to grab a upside down ramp, or a inverted ramp if you want to use the technical term. And you're going to have that connected going all the way down. This will give you 4 spacings for the 4 fuel generators that we still have left to build in this nice building. So with that being said, you have everything going across right here. Now just find the perfect spot for the fuel generators. It really doesn't matter at this point, but I decided to put them here, as you can see. Once I got them in, I just kind of did the nice thing on the opposite side so it has a nice symmetry. And I used the back metal piece to figure out exactly how far back I want it to go. This is also up to you on how you want to do this, but I figured that this would be the best way to end this part of the build. But it is also open to interpretation. If you guys want to build out or connect it to something else, it is completely up to you. One more thing is hooking up the nice fuel to it. Grab a pipeline junction cross. If you bring it all the way out here to the quarter piece, you can actually have the fuel hooked up to the pipe and then just going straight across, because all it needs to do is to break into 2 for each one of them. You can also hook them up to each other, but I did not, although this would have been the perfect area to do it. Then I just hooked them up going all the way across, and that'll take care of the last 4 fuel generators. Now to add a cool little design piece, you want to be on the inside here, and you want to grab your nice little glass roof, the 4-meter one, and you are just going to click on the tops, make sure that they're all rotated to the proper degree, and then just keep going around. This is really easy if you do it from the inside, very difficult if you try doing it from the outside, so just keep that in mind. And then what you want to do is, once you have this built right here, you want to go just one more layer higher. Again, this is really easy from the inside, a lot more difficult from the outside. But once it is all done and together, you will see that it makes quite a cool looking glass pattern, and it kind of gives you a nice little cut here and there. Looking really good. Then to tie it all off, what you want to do is you want to grab your glass floor and you're going to fill in this last little top spot right over here. You can think of this glass foundation as more of a balcony where you can actually just look off in the distance and enjoy the rest of your build depending on where you built it. Now on to the next part, we want to add in a little extra flair going on over here. So we decided that we're going to put in some power storage right here on the edges. This will give us a kind of cool looking little design to it and keeps the build from looking too bland. But that is not going to be enough. We need something else for this build. So I thought of, what if we take in our nice little walls? We can actually build a wall on this side as well as the other side. On the previous build, I did close up the center part, but I do want to leave it open on this one because I think it looks a little bit better. Then I grab in a 2 by 3 meter portrait frame, and I put these signs going all the way up, pretty much all the way to the top. Now you can do it however you want to, but I decided that putting it all straight up here was going to look really good, because what I want to do for this one is I want to change all of them to be a nice glowing light. Now, if you've never done lights before, it's pretty easy. All you gotta do is take a sign, and then we're gonna put a foundation over here, and we're gonna put something in front of it. I wanna do a pillar in front of it so it looks more like a light box. Now, you can go inner or you can go outer, depending on which way you want it, on how deep you have it going across. But first things first, if you've never done a light before, it's pretty simple. Find a layout that you like where you can actually delete most of the stuff, something like this. And then this one is real easy. The background has a blank part you can have where it's gone. And then of course for the text, you can just delete the text and now nothing's there. Now just change the last color to a basic color. I like using everything in groups of 30 for the top one. They'll get you solid colors all the way around. And then of course all full on the bottom two. Then if we do the level 3 on that, it is a nice bright sign. Then we just copy and paste going all the way across. And then to end it all off, we have to put the foundation back on there. And I want to put a pillar going across there so it looks like a nice light box. Right now it just looks like an LED strip, and you know, as cool as that looks, we can make it just a little bit better. So frame pillar, I decided to put this a little bit out and then have it going all the way up. And as you can see right here, it diffuses it a little bit, but overall keeps it exactly the way it is. And you have yourself a nice light box. Now to put a cap on the edge, what you want to do is you want to go into your beams and you want to find the beam support. Now as you can see right here, you can put a flat one and put another piece on there. Come on, the other piece on there. And it looks like it is connected all the way down, and you can do the same thing on the top. I actually put in 2 pieces, right like so, and do the same thing on the other side. And now all that's left is the most crucial part about it, is hooking up the wire to the entire build. The nice thing about the way that we built this is, if you take one of these power lines, put it right here, you can actually attach it right to the beam, and it keeps a nice little node going across. Then what you can do is you can actually connect the nodes going all the way through. This makes it so that it's really compact and it looks really cool. And you can connect 2 of them at a time going all the way down. As you can see right here, once we hook the wire, then these fuel generators start working. So if you have it all nice and filled up, you can start turning them on. But if you want to leave them empty for a little while, that's also okay. So once we get these groups of 4 taken care of, I will show you how we can hook all these wires together, because unfortunately they're just kind of sitting there doing nothing. So what I want to do is I want to go down here to the bottom part where I had this temporary power line. We're going to put this right here because I want it going into the system so it's hooked up to all this stuff over here. So we're going to hook up a couple more of these fuel gens together over here, and then I can show you exactly how I want to have it hooked up. So we're going to connect a few more up just Oh god. Yeah, you gotta be careful on that. These things are finicky, to say the least. But once you get all this hooked up, what I want to do is I want to hook this straight into the wall. So this right here, we're going to go straight in right here. But I can connect this straight over to this one, and it hides it pretty well. The nice thing about using foundations, of course. Now what we're going to do is we're going to hook these middle ones up over here. But this one, I want to hook it all the way up to the wall on the left. So right like here. But unfortunately I can't just have it going through, so I want it down before I go over. So I'm going to delete this foundation that I have over here. I'm going to take the wire, I'm going to bring the wire all the way down to here, and then I can hook it up to this side. Now before I delete the wire on the bottom, what I want to do is I want to click it over here, and then I'm going to connect it to that middle one that I had going on from the last build. If you don't remember, it's kind of like tucked away down here, so it's really hard to see. But as you can see right here, now it makes the wire invisible, which is really good and is exactly what we want. Now we can delete this temporary power pole, and everything is still hooked up with power going all the way across. Now all I got to do is hook up all the fuel generators going all the way down to this one line, and it'll keep having everything run. And as you can see right here, it is just connecting everything, and it looks really good. Now the only thing left to do is hook these top ones up together so they're hooked up to the bottom one. Easiest way to do that is if you delete the one right here, you can actually just bring the line straight up and put it right into the middle over here. Now you can easily just connect this over here, but this side is a little bit more fun. You can go straight to the wall like we did on the one on the bottom, and then you can hook that straight into there. Then once you put the ramp back up where it goes, you will hide all the power lines and everything will look really good for this top part going forward. Now with all that hooked up, we just need these four hooked up on the back end. Now what you want to do is you want to just grab these and then bring them off to the side, have it hanging over. I know it clips just a little bit, but you can go a little bit higher if you like. It all depends on how you are okay with clipping. Then I put one in the middle and realized that I did not like this much clipping, so we gotta do a different one right here. As you can see right here, if you do every other foundation, it'll actually work out perfectly in terms of the wire. So just go every other foundation as you go across, and once you get to a fuel gen, you'll be able to hook that back up and go all the way to the very end. This works out really perfectly as we can take these final lines and actually hook them up together. The way to do that is just go over here, hook it up to the wall like we did on the previous ones, and then you can hook it straight up to this middle piece going across. And that'll get you all the fuel gens hooked up around your whole base. 19,800 megawatts of power. Now the only thing we need is some of these batteries hooked up because we didn't put them just for show. So if you want to break this in the very center, you can actually bring a power line straight through here and have it coming up on a power pole going over. If you want to do this a certain way or a different way, feel free to do it. If you come up with a good design, let me know because I'm quite curious. Now I just hook all these over here together, and now they're just basically charging. So this gives us a nice little battery bank going across the edge, and then of course we put some on top just for fun, and we're going to do about the same thing that we did over there. So I'm just going to bring in a power line off to the side, hook this one over here, and then for this one what I wanted to do was I just brought it all the way underneath, kind of underneath on this little section, put a power line going down there, and then of course we're just going to bring it straight down going here. And then of course I'm going to come underneath here, and then I'm going to come underneath on the bottom, and I'm going to connect it right to here, and this will hide this going across. And then all I got to do is connect it to two other power sources, one on this side and one on the other side, and that'll hide it pretty good. Well, with that being said, that is it for the build. We have all the battery banks hooked up. We have all the fuel gens hooked up. We have 600 crude oil, making us plenty of power, and not using that much power to begin with. So I gotta say, this design came out quite nicely. As you can see right here, we have an extra 600 megawatts an hour or whatever of battery backup just for fun. And of course, this is quite a big build, so you can add in more batteries if you like. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I have been Drawing Chaos. This has been a big build, and I think it's time that we end it. So if you like what you see, you know what to do. But other than that, bye, buddy.